my dear students. I hope you all are okay and good in health. This is the first time I'm creating a videos about a topic in chemistry, and I hope and I'm so much determined that I can continue this process and it will be beneficial for all of you, and I hope and expect that you all pray for me that I can continue this process. So at the first class, I want to teach all of you about the characteristics and behavior of electron. To determine or to describe the characteristics and behavior of electron, there are three basic theories. This one is the first theory. This one is called Aufbau's principles. And another two theory is Pauli's exclusion principles and Hund's rule. So, at today's class, I will teach you about the Aufbau's principles. If we stated the Aufbau principle at very normal language, it will be electron gradually enters into the lower energy levels to higher energy levels. This is the Aufbau principles. So, according to Aufbau principles, electron shows a good behavior, and this good behavior is that it will first enter into the lower energy level and then to the higher energy level. And this is the statement of Aufbau principles, that electron gradually enters into the lower energy levels to higher energy levels. If I compare the behavior of electron, this Aufbau principles behavior, then I can compare it to the lazy peoples. For example, lazy people or any types of people always want to stay at their comfort zone, and electron also want to stay at their comfort zone. So what is the comfort zone of electron? Obviously, the comfort zone of electron will be its lower energy levels. So electron first enters into the lower energy levels, and if there is no lower energy level, then electron goes to the next higher energy level. And normally the question arises that how to determine energy of orbitals, how we can understand which level has the lowest energy and which level has the highest energy. So our basic question first will arise that how to determine energy of orbitals. To determine energy of orbitals, we need to know that energy of orbital is dependent on the n plus L value. We all know there are 4 quantum numbers to characterize the electrons. Here, the 2 quantum numbers, n is equal to principal quantum numbers and L is equal to azimuthal or subsidiary quantum numbers. So we can say that the energy of any orbital is related to its principal quantum numbers and its azimuthal or subsidiary quantum numbers. For example, if we consider the 3D and 4s, here for 3D the value of n is equal to 3. So if we take any orbital to our consideration, the value of n will always be the coefficient of this orbital. For example, the 3D has the coefficient of 3. So principal quantum number of 3D will be 3. And we know that for the value of S, the azimuthal or subsidiary quantum numbers value is equal to 0. So for S, L equal to 0, you need to remember or memorize that for S, L equal to 0, for P, L equal to 1, for D, L equal to 2, and for F, L equal to 3. So if we find out the energy of 3D and 4s, we get that for 3D the value of n is equal to 3, and we know for D the azimuthal or subsidiary quantum numbers value is 2. So for n plus L value of 3D, I will get the 5. And in the same way, if we find out the value of 4s, we'll get the n plus L value for 4s. The value of n will be the 4 and the value of s will be the 0. Because we know that for s the value of L or subsidiary quantum number will be 0. So for 4s we get the value of n plus L equal to 4. And we can compare the which has the lowest value and which has the highest value. In 3D and 4s, we can see that for 3D the value of n plus L is 5, and for 4s the value of n plus L is equal to 4. So by finding out the value of n plus L, we can say that 3D has the higher n plus L value, and the 4s has the lower n plus L value. So according to Aufbau principles, the 3D orbital is higher energetic than 4s. So if we compare, or if we consider the two orbitals 3D and 4s, in which orbital electron first goes or electron first enters? Obviously electron first goes to the 3D and 4s, because between 3D and 4s, the 4s has the lowest energy and 3D has the highest energy, higher energy. So now we can understand that which orbital has the lowest and highest energy. Now we will consider the 3D and 4p. 3D and 4p has the same value of n plus L, because for 3D the value of n is equal to 3, and for D the subsidiary or azimuthal quantum number is equal to 2. So for 3D n plus L value is equal to 3 plus 2 equal to 5. And if we consider the 4p, the value of n for 4p is equal to 4, and the p, here p is written here, the azimuthal or subsidiary quantum number for p is equal to 1. So if we make the sum of 4p, n plus L value will be 4 plus 1 equal to 5. So here the value of n plus L is equal for 3D and 4p. Then how we can consider, or how we can determine that which orbital has the higher energy and which orbital has the lower energy? So if we consider the 3D and 4p, the value is same, the value is equal, then we need to consider which one has the larger principal quantum numbers value. In 3D and 4p, the 4p has the larger value of principal quantum number, because for 4p the value of n or principal quantum number is equal to 4. So it is the fourth shell and it is in the third shell. So if we consider the energy of 3D and 4p, obviously 4p will be the higher energetic and the energy of 4p will be more than 3D. So which orbital electron choose first? Obviously electron will choose the 3D orbital, because 3D has the lower energy than 4p. So if we distribute the electrons of potassium 19, we'll get that normally we'll go in the flow. S orbital carries 2 electrons, p orbital carries 6 electrons, d orbital carries 10 electrons. So I have distributed all the electron of potassium 19. Here I get potassium 19 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3D and 4s. Here comes the Aufbau principles. Here is 3D, here is 4s. So we have found that 4s has the lower energy than the 3D. So electron of potassium 19, the last electron or 19th electron will go to the 4s, though the 4s in the 4th energy level. It will not come to 3D. So according to Aufbau's principles, we have found that the value of n plus L value 3D is 5 and the value of n plus L for 4s is 4. So it has lower energy. So 19 electron of potassium 19 will go to the 4s, never go to the 3D. I hope you all understand the value of n plus L and Aufbau principles. It's very normal. According to the Aufbau principle, electron will gradually enter into the lower energy level to higher energy level. It's very clear to you.